were the forgotten sibling. Did it ever come back to bite your parents? My parents had only ever wanted a son, and I was the infamous mistake that they always tried to hide. Whenever they took my brother skiing or skydiving, they'd leave me at home and pretend like they were a family of 3. However, they also had very high expectations for him and made him read books until his eyes went red and started bleeding. When he turned 16, he confided in me that he was done being their golden child and was going to run away to our uncle who lived in another state. He made me promise not to tell our parents about it, and I agreed. But then one day before he planned on leaving, he got in a car accident and passed away. My parents shut down when that happened. They cried the loudest at the funeral, screaming that their entire family was destroyed. I did feel sorry for them because they never knew the truth, but since I was already living with my aunt, I decided not to tell them. They never called or texted anyway, even after I graduated from college, so it's not like I had many chances to reveal the truth. That's why I was shocked when I received a call from my mother 10 years after the incident. She excitedly told me that my brother had come back to life and was now living with them. I asked her to repeat herself and then told her as softly as possible that my brother was gone. No, he's not. The accident was just a ruse because he was kidnapped by some very bad people. But don't worry, now he's escaped and he's back, so we're going to spoil him as much as possible. I immediately got into my car and drove back home, wanting to meet this person who was obviously impersonating my brother. And just as I expected, he looked nothing like my brother's old pictures. Instead, he looked like he had been living on the street for years, with a rough beard and hair that went below his shoulders. He greeted me with a smile. Hey, you're my sister, right? I remember how you used to bully me. My parents immediately started laughing like he had told the funniest joke in the world, despite the fact that I never bullied him. I understood what was going on. This guy was a con man, and he saw his opportunity to deceive my parents, probably because he saw them doing that ritual at his gravesite. Every month, my parents would load up all my brother's favorite things in the car and go to where he was buried. Then they would spend hours begging him to come back and play with the toys again. I took my mother aside and explained to her that we had seen my brother's corpse, and she instantly went, "No, that was just a fake planted by the people who kidnapped him. He's already explained it to us." Then both my mother and my father proceeded to gush over my brother's new appearance, calling him handsome even though he looked like Shrek after a rough divorce. I decided enough was enough and told them the truth, that even if my brother was still alive, he would never willingly come home to them. I showed them my texts that clearly said my brother was planning on running away. I told them that this guy was simply trying to scam them because they were still grieving and was going to take advantage of their cluelessness. My father's face went red, and my mother started looking back and forth between me and the imposter. The guy looked like he was scouting the house for which exit to take in case he had to run. After a long, uncomfortable silence, my mother went, "I knew you always hated your brother for being better than you, but you've gone too far this time." She slapped me across the face and began dragging me outside. I was in shock because my dad was just sitting there, hugging the guy's head close to his chest like I was the one trying to invade their home. After I was thrown out, they shut the door in my face and blocked me on everything. I wanted to scream at them to come to their senses, but instead I decided I'd let karma do its thing. I went back to my apartment and waited, but I didn't have to wait long at all. 5 days later, the guy had already stolen everything from my parents' house, including money from the safe that they happily gave him access to. He had run off in my dad's car after leaving a letter that called my parents stupid in a more colorful language. My parents had unblocked me and were crying nonstop, telling me I was right and asking for my help. I simply said, "I told you so," and then hung up. I know wherever my brother is, he's happy that my parents are actually suffering for once.